What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and we can't start this week without breaking down the key play from yesterday, the play that has caught all of the drama, for lack of a better word, especially if you follow me on Twitter, and that is the call on Isaiah Likely, where it seems like someone in New York, or the team in New York from the NFL, called in to overturn the completed pass, because I believe it was initially called a touchdown. They overturned it. Once it's overturned, you can't then challenge it, which would have given us a little bit more scrutiny on it. So I want to break it down because I think the NFL got it wrong, and I'm going to explain specifically why. And I also want to talk, I've seen a lot of comparisons to the Roman Wilson touchdown. I want to talk about that a little bit because I think when you read the explanation from the NFL rules official, that answer was given to Jeff Zrebiec after the game, I think it becomes kind of interesting. So let's jump into the rule first. We can't really talk about it until we take a look at the rule. So 3 necessary components to breaking this down, to ruling this play. So secures control of the ball in his hands or arms prior to the ball touching the ground. So catches it with 2 hands, controls the football. That one's obvious. No one's questioning that. Touches the ground inbounds with both feet or with any part of his body other than his hands. So gets both feet in the 2 steps. The typical, this isn't what's being questioned. What's being questioned is it comes down to C. So there's a couple key components in this one. So first off, it's after A and B have been fulfilled. So this is where it's going to get interesting when we actually break down the footage, but I want to keep that in mind. So it's after A and B have been fulfilled, clearly performs any common act of the game. So they give examples. And so keep in mind, these are examples. It's not necessarily exhaustive, but they say extend the football forward. That seems to mean, diving at the goal line. Take an additional step, the 3rd step, which is what they kind of focused on. Tuck the ball away and turn up field. And keep in mind that that's tuck the ball away and turn up field. That's not he has to tuck it and turn up field, or he has to do extend the ball and turn up field. That's one line. But then it says, or avoid or ward off an opponent. And this is going to be what we focus on. And it obviously says, or he maintains control of the ball long enough to do so, which he obviously didn't satisfy that because the ball comes out. So let's take a look at the actual footage of the play. I have the one angle from the broadcast version because I think it gives you the best look at it before we jump into it. Just a reminder, all videos on Road Graders are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog just dropped prediction markets, spreads, totals, and team outcomes. And the best part, you can combine them with player picks for bigger multipliers. Sign up today with code ROAD. Make a $5 fantasy entry, and you will get $100 in fantasy bonus entries. Prediction markets are now live in 25 states, including Texas, California, and Florida. And Underdog is available in over 40 states with player picks and draft games. Prediction markets, player picks, all on Underdog. All right, let's take a look at it. So right here, that ball is in tight to his arms. He knows that Joey Porter is behind him. So right here, we have Joey Porter Jr. in phase behind him. He's going to come through the back of this ball. That's exactly what happens, and he pulls that ball. He extends the ball away from him. So if the argument is that he extends the ball forward, but that only counts at the goal line, like when I'm diving across the goal line, fine. But he is very clearly avoiding or warding off an opponent. And so then we get our 1 foot, our 2 feet, and his arms stay extended. He didn't catch this football with his arms fully extended. He catches the football. A common act to the game. Where I disagree, and I think the NFL got it wrong, is that him continuing to keep this ball out, because there's the 2nd step right there, and he keeps that football out. I don't think he needs to bring it back into his chest and then re-extend it. That doesn't make any sense. The entire purpose of him keeping that ball out, the way the language is written, if you want to say extend the ball forward only counts at the goal line, but it's such the play against the Bengals last week, when Kyle Hamilton plays in phase behind, this is how receivers are going to keep the ball away from a defender playing, that it was after A and B have been fulfilled. I would argue him keeping his arms extended. He did not catch it like that. He puts it out and he holds his arms out as he takes his 2 steps. And it looks like he's looking down to try and get his feet down. But he is intentionally does get it. Now, what I found interesting is if you go read NFL, he says, the ruling on the field was a touchdown. We quickly looked at the play. The receiver controlled the ball in the air, had his right foot down, then his left foot down. So that's A and B. Then it says the second which he did have, blah, blah, blah. Third foot down, the ball was ripped out, therefore it was an incomplete pass. They're only looking at the third foot as a clear football move. So they're not even considering whether or not he was avoiding or warding off an opponent. And this is where I think they got it wrong. And I wanted to put this in there because if you go, and I should have the audio. Let me turn it up.
Catch, 1, 2, and then is he trying to do something with it? Terry, is that good enough for a touchdown?
It's absolutely a catch, Mike. He gets control, 2 feet down, and then takes an additional step, which completes the catch before he loses control. This is a touchdown.
But 207.
So this is what I found so interesting about this, because if you read the response from the NFL vice president of instant replay, he's only talking about the third step. They're not even looking at whether or not the common act was whether or not he avoided or warded off an opponent. Now, I should have included this. Gene Steratore, who was working the game, he was in agreement with it. And, Gene Steratore obviously knows more about this than me, but there seems to be a lot of people that don't agree with this. And when you go look at his tweet, he said, perform a football move, and then he put in brackets, take a third step, tuck the ball away, turn upfield, avoid/ward off an opponent, or to maintain control of the ball long enough to do so. So he is saying he's considering it, but he's looking at the third step. And if you listen to his game commentary, he was looking at the third step. No one's considering what this or avoid or ward off an opponent is. And that is where I think the NFL got it wrong. I think him extending his arms to avoid or ward off a defender, who he did end up doing it. Like, he got his hand in there. And I thought he maintains control long enough. He maintains control long enough to almost get his third foot down. But it seems like the NFL made the ruling based on this right here. That that foot is not down. That's his third step. And that ball is about to come out right there. So that looks like what the NFL ruled it. I think it's complete and utter BS. More of this game, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the ruling. Let me know if you see what I'm seeing or if you think I'm completely full of shit. As always, hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. Hit subscribe if you're new here, and be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.